You're tuned in to Super Talk 1270 and Free for All Friday. Compelling local talk at 11 o'clock. Free for All Friday features groups and organizations that are plugged into progress here in Central North Dakota. Our rotating panel includes members of the Bismarck Downtowners, the Bismarck Mandan Home Builders Association, Pride of Dakota, and United Tribes Technical College. You're invited to call in and join the discussion. It's Free for All Friday on Super Talk 1270.
Well, good morning, Jim. Thanks for having United Tribes Technical College on this morning. We really appreciate the time and to be able to have the listeners share a little bit more with them about United Tribes Technical College. And so this morning, one of the gentlemen that we brought in to be able to talk a little bit more and share his corner of the world out on campus is our very own Dr. Bill Gorno. And Bill here is our Vice President of Campus Services. And so I'd like Bill to be able to share a little bit about what's going on with the campus services here on campus this year.
Well, thank you, Charisse, and thank this radio station for the opportunity to allow me to come in and speak to you today. As Charisse said, is indicated, my name is Dr. Well, it's not real. I don't go by doctor, but it's Bill Gorno, and I'm the Vice President of Campus Services. Now, Campus Services is a department that deals with more of the, departments that provide food, transportation, lodging, and just repairs to the facilities on campus at the United Tribes Technical College. So what we do is we keep busy all summer long, keeping the campus beautiful through doing repairs to buildings, cleaning the institution grounds, maintaining the grass, and all of the.
That's a lot of grass to cut.
Yeah, that is. There is. They're constantly, once they get done with one section or one part of the institution, they have to go back and start all over again. Yeah, and recently we've had to do a lot of tree trimming. In fact. In the next week, we're going to be clearing out some trees that we find that may be hazardous to the people on the ground. So we're that's one of our projects. But also,
when you're talking about that tree project, Bill, some of those trees, how old are those trees?
Well, I hear they're about 100 years old. Yes. They're quite old. So just like some of the buildings, because some of the buildings are over 100 years old. Yes. And been there for quite a long time. So it gets to be a project to maintain those kinds of buildings, mm-hmm. and then to address the tree issue. And then, like I said, we're going to take down some, but we're also going to replant as well to keep that circular growth going for our trees. So we're taking all that into consideration and make sure that we have enough out there to keep it beautiful.
Yes. And what about the buildings that are going on? I know you've got some projects that are happening right now with some changes on the buildings.
Right. Well, right now we're renovating the Sitting Bull dorm, so that we're bringing it to the modernizing it, I should say. We're redoing the plumbing. We're redoing a lot of stuff inside so that the students. In fact, this is a male dorm where those students will be able to enjoy modern living environments. So bringing a 100-year-old building into the modern world is quite a feat, but we're going to tackle that, and I think that they'll really like the results of that. Plus, we're doing some roofing. We're also doing some paving around campus so that we can keep the potholes out and make sure there's no leaks in the buildings, and just make sure that all the buildings are comfortable for our staff and students alike.
Well, what you do, you're the backbone of what happens on the campus, and having to maintain all of those buildings. And even for the listeners out there, with United Tribes, we were talking a little bit earlier with Dennis about wanting to share another time some of the history of our campus, because it is over 100 years old. Those buildings are standing. We're using them. It was the second Fort Lincoln, like the Fort Lincoln that's over across the river here on the Mandan side. And all of those buildings over there are all recreated. And the buildings on our campus are all the original buildings. So, I mean, there is so much history that we have on the campus. And you have a huge task with being able to keep them all up and running and keeping them beautiful and functional for us.
Right. We have an excellent staff that have been around for a while and know every nook and cranny of the buildings. And when there is something replaced, the old part of it are, for the most part, stored away. So in the future, if there's a use for it, because it is part of history, we try to maintain that so that if there's some interest in that, we have that available for them. In fact, right now we have quite a few but these older shingles that were taken off the roof.
The slate
shingles. And those are out there. And in fact,
I need to come and get mine, by the way.
Yeah, if somebody's interested in some, they certainly come over and we'll share some of those slate shingles.
If you're
they're
interested.
Really nice. I mean, they're heavy, but they can be used for a lot of things. We're thinking art for art and commemorate some of the contributions and some of the historical residents or past people who are interested in those slates, to be able to provide those to them.
Because those too are at least 100 years old, those slate shingles.
Right.
What's the size of those about there? Because, I mean, they're big.
I'm not sure what they are.
11 by 14.
Oh, okay, yeah, they are there.
So anyone that's interested in wanting to maybe have some of those slate shingles, they could get a hold of us out here on campus, and we can direct you to Bill to be able to get some of them. I mean, they're wonderful. They're beautiful. They'd be great for art projects, anything historical that you'd want to be able to put something on there, because they are
I agree.
so old.
What I'd like to do is, being new in this position, I'd like to send out a recognition to my departments, because they've really helped me in transition into this position, and have done some excellent work in working towards our goal of providing the best services to not only our students but staff and community. So we keep our buildings, our roads, our landscapes, everything in a beautiful perspective, so that people can come and enjoy those. So I want to just really send a word out of congratulations or a praise for them, who I'm working with at this point.
Absolutely. They've done a great job with you. Well, we appreciate that, Bill, and thanks so much for being able to share that. And like I said, anybody that's interested in those slate shingles, let us know, because we would be more than happy to share them with you. A little piece of our history.
I agree.
Right now, 72.
Get the app called Radio Pup for your iPhone and take us everywhere you go. Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
And we're back. This is Sharice Fondrick with United Tribes Technical College. And we just want to thank our listeners for taking the time to share. So we're going to share a little bit more about United Tribes Technical College. And thank Jim again for letting us be on here and share this information. United Tribes Technical College is a nonprofit. So it's nice that we're able to share that information and let people know that about our college. It's unique in that fact. And there are a lot of different things about the college that we wanted to be able to share. And one of those things that we're going to share today is about our land grant program. And United Tribes is unique in the fact that we also have a land grant program. And we have Pat Awning here today, and she's going to tell us a little bit more. She's the director of the land grant program, and we're glad to have Pat here. And thanks, Pat. And would you share a little bit about what the land grant program is about?
Thank you, Charisse. This is wonderful to have this opportunity. For those of you who are familiar with in North Dakota State University, the Land Grant Program and Extension Service, our tribal colleges in 1994 received what's called land grant status, which means that we, as a tribal college, can work with the U.S. Department of Agriculture to develop food and agriculture programs. And we do have a strong food and agriculture program on the UTTC campus with quite a variety of programs and program efforts. But I asked this morning my coworkers, I said, okay, so what phrase do I need to use as I talk about our land grant programs? And our goal is to connect Mother Earth to health through the kitchen table. So we focus on nutrition and health. We've got gardening. We focus on activity levels and physical activity. We focus on health and wellness. We've done research with squash. We've done research with corn. We have huge gardens on the campus and very active team members who do adult education activities on campus. And our program is an extension program. It's an extension of our campus into the community. So we have programs that go out into all of the tribal nations that we serve. We're expecting people from Alaska to participate in one of our training programs in mid-September. So we'll have Alaskan tribal members join us.
Talk a little bit about the Dragonfly Garden. Share just a little bit about the garden. I love going out there. We were out there just the other day with the corn.
With the corn research, yes.
50 different types of corn out there.
Yes. The research project that we have on corn it's maize. We refer to it as maize research because the seed is seed that has been preserved from many years ago, 75 or 100 years ago. And the seed has been grown on our campus and on campuses, Turtle Mountain Community College and actually on Stonechild College in Montana and Fort Berthold Community College. The corn is grown there and then the seed goes to Chile and it's grown in Chile in the middle of winter, and it has come back to our campus to be grown again during the summertime. And that seed, after it's harvested, will now be shared with tribal communities, so they can sample what old seeds were like and how the plants grew. And it's totally different than looking at a field of sweet corn in North Dakota. It's a different kind of corn product simply because some of the stalks are small, some of them are tall. The colors are bright orange and red and also yellow, but we don't have it's not the kind of product that we see in a large cornfield around here.
So is that corn then, when you talk about the seeds being old seeds coming back from 75, 100 years ago, so none of the MGOs or corn is modified, right? So the genetics of it.
Basically, it would mean that the corn hasn't been exposed to a variety of other pollens.
Okay.
And actually this week they had a pollination workshop. They literally cover some of the corn with paper bags to keep it from gathering pollen from corn that they don't want it to have pollen from. So there's some real interesting things happening with the research project. It's old corn, meaning it's the kind of corn that 100 years ago might have been harvested on the Great Plains and on our river bottoms.
Interesting.
Can I share a little bit about the young men that I brought with me today?
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about who's here today.
The other component of our land grant extension program is that we connect with other people around the country and other organizations. And for the last couple of years, we've had Vista AmeriCorps program on our campus. And this year, our Vista person helped us submit an application to have a team of, I would call these folks environmentalists, come on board and help us do some environmental cleanup. And the title of their organization is the National Civilian Community Corps. And I'm going to ask Zach and Marvins to share some information with you folks.
Thanks, Pat. And as Pat said, Marvins and I, my teammate here, are members of AmeriCorps, National Civilian Community Corps, which is basically a 10-month volunteer program dedicated to national service across 5 service areas in our country. It's a team-based program. Our team is called Maple 4. Marvin's and I are teammates amongst our seven other teammates back working at United Tribes right now, helping to cut back the trail on campus, maintain it, clean it up, and make it beautiful. They're also working towards the ultimate goal of, getting it nice and tidy and beautiful for the, connection to the Bismarck-Mandan Trail happening.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Well,
Very soon.
we'll have a party about the trail. We're going to have a celebration on August 5th to celebrate the opening of the trail. These young folks arrived just 24, 48 hours ago. It's just real recently, and they've already hauled out 4 huge dump truck loads of dead trees and shrubs and brush. And eventually, with what they're doing, and they probably don't really understand this, eventually we will find the choke cherries and the June berries and some of the traditional plant materials that are located along that trail. And eventually we will have signs along those so that the public, when they walk on that trail or ride their bike on that trail, they're going to be able to identify what kind of plant materials are there. So, Mervins, how much brush did you pick yesterday?
Well, I couldn't tell you an exact number, but I know our team as a whole just put in a lot of effort just to haul out like 4 trucks of brush piles. And, we're just making the, like Pat mentioned earlier, we're just improving the path, making
That's
it
right.
clearer and just safer for the public. This is about community wellness.
Very much so. This is about community wellness. It gives us a good environment for activity on our campus with our campus community members, but it also says that someone who is using the bike trail or using the walking path will feel good about it and enjoy being a part of our campus community.
Right. Thanks, Pat. And we just wanted to mention how much we have enjoyed our time on campus so far too. I know some of our teammates have enjoyed the Frisbee golf course on your campus, and some of us have played basketball. And there's a lot of recreation opportunities, and it's a very unique community that you guys have accepted us into for our time here at United Tribes, and we just want to extend our appreciation.
I was looking at all of the bios for everybody that was here, and when you mentioned the Frisbee golf, I saw one of them was a champion Frisbee golf player. Was that you? Is that you, Zach?
That would be me. Yeah,
Wow.
champion caliber. I'm not quite as skilled as some of my other teammates or teammate Bill Landis, but we had a lot of fun playing the other night, the first night that we arrived, and it's something that we're definitely going to be taking good advantage of over our next couple weeks here at United Tribes.
That's awesome. Zach's from Maine, and Marvin's is from New York. So and there's quite a variety for where everybody's from across the country.
Yeah. Well, like you said, we all from all over, and just gathering together. I think in the beginning we were unfamiliar. It was very unfamiliar, and as the month went along, we just kind of accepted each other, and the difference that we bring to the team.
Who can volunteer to be a part of your team? I know there's a national application process.
Well, the process is that the age limit is you have to be 18 and the cap is 24 to be a team member, but there is no cap to be a team leader. 18 through it could be whatever.
Okay. And they take applicants from all over the country?
Right, yeah. You just need to be a U.S. resident or permanent resident or citizen in order to become an AmeriCorps National Civilian Community Corps member, or as we abbreviate, NCCC. And along with being a Corps member or team leader, there come a lot of benefits. There's an education award involved upon completion of the program, federal loan for forbearance while you're serving, and also the amazing opportunity to be a part of a national service program in which you get to travel, immerse yourself in a culture. Like, I mean, we feel so fortunate that we've been able to, so much already, even just being here for hours, seriously, immersing ourselves in the UTTC culture and being a part of the community. And I think as far as benefits goes, that could very well be the greatest one.
Yeah.
Well, we think so.
And I think, just to add on to what Zach said, along the way, you just, aside from all the benefits you mentioned, I think along the way you just gain this personal connections with your team members, and I think that's, it's just, you can't put a price on that.
You've also gained connections with people all across the country, because if I remember right, you've been in South Dakota already. You've been in Iowa. Where else have you been?
We've also been in Wisconsin. That was our very first project. We were a fire team down there doing prescribed burnings, and that was a whole new experience for the whole crew. So it was a lot of fun. And like Pat said, yes, we have made connections with different peoples across the country, because and
we're so glad to be able to have you here, and we thank you. And we'll talk a little bit more again in the next break.
Right now, 72.
Sean Hannity, weekdays at 2, only on Super Talk 1270.
And we're back, and this is United Tribes Technical College. I'm Sharice Fondrick, and work out at the college, and we're here today. In this particular break, we're going to continue a little bit more with Pat Awning, who is our land grant director here for our programs, and because it's something so unique and different, and maybe something that a lot of people don't understand a little bit more about, what it's all about. And of course, when we were just talking about the Dragonfly Garden, and we've got a great celebration coming up here pretty quick. Pat, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what's happening with the walking path?
The walking path is a project that we've actually been working on for probably 5 or 6 years, if not longer. And this year, the walking path is totally connected to the Bismarck-Burleigh County walking path system, which means that people can be along the walking or the bike path that's along University Drive and come on to the United Tribes Technical College campus and go take a loop that goes all around the campus, even to what we call the south part of the campus, the newer part of the campus, and join up with the official walking path again. So it's just an interesting tour to see our buildings on the campus. We have many buildings that are over 100 years old. We have a wonderful history of incidents and focuses in the Bismarck area during the last 100 years. So it's really a historical walk, as well as being a natural environment where we have some of the traditional plants that you'd find on the prairie in our reservation basis.
And you can see those along the walking path.
We can see those along the walking path. We do have a celebration plan. The public is invited to join us on August 5th at 3 o'clock. We will do a ribbon cutting at that particular point in time to do the official welcoming of the walking path, or the official opening of the walking path. And that'll give the public an opportunity to explore the path a little bit more, and to explore what we call the Dragonfly Garden area, where we have an orchard, and the public helped us obtain the trees that are in that orchard. We have about 150 trees in the orchard, and they're at this point 3 or 4 years old.
And what types of trees are those?
Oh, there's peach and plum and apple.
Yes, the fruit trees.
Yes, there's fruit trees.
Yes.
And that doesn't even talk about the pear tree. And within the next 2 weeks, we have some folks who are going to be harvesting pears off of our 2 pear trees. So
on campus, that's so exciting.
So food sovereignty is a part of what we do on our campus, and it's
and that's another thing. Pat, talk a little bit about the food sovereignty. Explain that to our listeners so that they know a little bit more why we work so hard on that.
I think that one of the terms that I use to describe food sovereignty, it's really local foods. It's knowing where your food comes from, how it's grown or how it's shipped, and we make our own choices about the food that we choose. So we might be harvesting from the grocery store or the food distribution program on Indian reservations, or we might be harvesting from grandma's garden or from our own garden. So our focus is really about providing good and healthy sources of food to the people that we work with and that we care about. So that's what we teach in our land grant extension program.
When you talk about the teaching, talk about some of the classes too through the food and nutrition that we have on campus. Would you please?
I would be glad to do that. In fact, food preservation is one of the things that we're concerned with right now. So if someone wants to learn pickle making, they can join us for a pickle making class.
I signed up for that one.
And there's and I think there will be salsa making, and I suspect there'll be fruit canning classes. So there's a variety of food preservation classes that are taught now with the garden produce being harvested. So those classes are dependent. Right now we've got lots of kale. We have Swiss chard. The cucumbers have started producing. So I'm sure we're going to be doing something with salad making. Those would be the topics that would be the focus during this next bit of time. Now, when the students come back to campus to take college courses, our department it really establishes the culinary arts and food service curriculum, where students come in and they take classes that really prepare them to possibly go on to one of the culinary arts schools, or prepares them to have more of a leadership role in their food service business back in the reservation. The other component of our program is nutrition, and the nutrition track is really designed to prepare someone to study the nutrition science and to learn about human nutrition needs, and probably go on for additional coursework at one of the universities that would, so they would become a dietitian or a licensed nutritionist. So there are a couple of different tracks that our students go on when they begin to participate in our nutrition and food service program.
Well, and your area is expanding, and so you've added some more classroom and another kitchen. Talk about the kitchen that you have.
The kitchen that we have, actually we have 2 teaching kitchens. I have to brag a little bit.
Yes, please do.
We're the 2-year college in Western North Dakota that has a teaching kitchen to teach food service skills and culinary arts skills. And that's thanks to support that comes from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. We determined that if we're going to be teaching food service skills, we really needed to teach people in very high quality setting on the latest equipment, and to set very high standards for these students that come through our program, and we're very proud of that particular teaching kitchen. Well, then when we had the opportunity to expand our program spaces, we've also put in 2 kitchens spaces that we use for teaching the elementary students. Are the viewers, the listeners, familiar with that we have an elementary school on our campus?
Yes, we do.
So we have the elementary students come into our extension kitchen and learn some cooking skills in our extension kitchen. And we have classes that employees and college students and other people can come and take. And we use our extension teaching kitchen for that particular one. And there are days when we don't have enough room to put all of the different groups that are taking classes in our spaces.
In the space that you have.
Yeah.
You know, we had Dr. Gorner was on before you, and he was talking about campus and the trees, and you're very connected with your group too, though, about planting the gardens that are on campus and taking care of all the flowers that are on campus. And you have staff that does that part of it too.
Our role is teaching. We have a teaching role, even as we do the agroecology program. But as I've worked with staff as they've come on board and new staff, everything that we do, we want to teach somebody how to do what we're doing. So we work beside these guys, the AmeriCorps guys coming on campus, and we teach them what we want them to learn as they're working on our campus, and we learn from them. And we do the same thing with college students and with individuals who participate in our program, and with staff. So on campus at this point, we've got almost 16 different garden spots.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
There's quite a few. And that's very difficult to maintain them, so we rely on volunteers. These folks are going to help us get caught up on some of the maintenance of gardens. We have gardens that produce food. We have gardens that have sweetgrass in them. We have gardens with Juneberries and all kinds of fruit and produce. Oh, and did we show you the raspberry patch? We've got a couple of really good raspberry patches.
Really good raspberries.
We found a raspberry patch.
Well, I'll bet you did. It might be, you might have managed to pick those bare at this point. So we've got an asparagus bed. So there's tucked away all over campus. There are food sources, and our hope when I go to national meetings, I've been asked, well, how do you sell your produce?
Right.
And my reply is always, we want people to find out that it's there and to use it.
Right.
So our produce is available to anyone who will come and pull a couple weeds and enjoy the produce.
Yeah, come and share the produce. And that's one of the things I guess that I would like our listeners that are here today that are, wanting to know that you're welcome on campus.
Oh,
and there
yes.
are so many different aspects that are going on out there that we can reach out to the community, and you're more than welcome to come out here and be part of that. Like I said, yeah, we'd love it if you want to pick some weeds, but if you need some cucumbers, we've got that too.
Yeah. If you can find them.
Yes, you got to find them.
You're going to have
like a treasure map.
It's a treasure map. And that doesn't even talk about the geocaches. We've got geocaches on campus too.
Talk a little bit about that. That's right. We talked about that too.
That's the other component. If somebody's out walking with their kids or exploring, they can check for some geocaches. I think there's 3 or 4 on our campus.
And what do they do for that?
For the geocaches? Mm-hmm. Well, I posed a question to our NC3 volunteers to see if they were going to establish another geocache for us before they leave. So they're in that age bracket where they enjoy doing that. So let's find out.
Yeah, and I think that a great idea for our team would be, just to, maybe leave a more permanent mark on UTTC would be, to maybe even, stuff a geocache of our own and put it somewhere that we've been working, and whoever happens to stumble upon it or locate it themselves can learn a little bit more about the legacy that Maple 4 will be leaving behind at, United Tribes.
Mm-hmm. That's right. The geocaches are connected nationwide, so that someone who signs up to participate in geocaching can go almost anywhere around the country and find them. And we just happen to have 3 or 4 that are established on the campus. They found one or parts of one or realized that one had disappeared, so now we'll reestablish another one.
A lot of exciting things that are happening on campus and fun things that we can talk to this community to be able to let them know that they can be a part of. And Pat, will you share again a little bit about the walking path on the celebration? What's the date and the time?
The celebration for the walking path is on August 5th at 3 p.m. We will will park just off of Burley Avenue on the United Tribes Technical College campus.
Yes, come out and join us for that. We'd love to have you.
Right now, 75.
Our own radio station. Not Fargo, not the Twin Cities. Proud to be Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
And we're back. This is Sharice Fondrick with United Tribes Technical College. And we're just moving right along, telling you all kinds of different things that are going on the college campus. And hopefully there's some things on there that piqued your interest and you'll have more questions. And you can certainly get a hold of us and let us know. And Dr. Bill Gorno talked about the slate shingles, and if there's anybody that is interested in some of those, it's a piece of history that we'll share with you. And Pat Awning was talking about the ribbon cutting that we're going to do for the celebration for the walking path. And on August 5th at 3 o'clock on campus, we'll be dedicating that walking path and opening it up so that it goes completely all the way through and onto the Burley, the city walking path. So you can go all the way through our campus and see all the history that's there and find out more things and have raspberries along the way on the walk.
I know.
There's raspberries and anything else that you could find along the path with our Juneberries and
Black hawks.
And the hawks and and then the pear trees she was talking, they're ripe, so they're going to start picking them next week, I think. But anyway, so we're talking about those things, and now on this segment we've got Miss Julie Desjardins with us, and Julie was with us last month and talking about our most important week that comes up for Campus 2 in September, that a lot of you know and know that it's Powwow Week, but we have our summit that happens, and the leadership summit that happens right before the powwow, which brings in all of the leaders from all over to come together and discuss important issues and what's going on. And so Julie's going to tell us a little bit about that summit.
Well, thank you. Yes, my name is Julie Desjardins, and I am the chairwoman for the 19th annual United Tribes Summit, and it is United Tribes Week, September 8th through the 13th, and we start the summit off the 8th through the 10th. We have some great people coming. We have so many things lined up. We have 10 different issues. It's the summit is on a forum type basis. We have panelists and 10 different issues and topics that we're going to be discussing. Some of those topics with the community this year, we're kind of following up from last year. Last year we said we were all related. This year, strengthening communities. What is that saying? It's saying that we're reaching out to everyone and saying, hey, we're all part of the creators' work. So with that in mind, come to the summit and enjoy the topics, learn more about the Native people and what we do, the issues that we deal with. We're going to have a lot of national, very high-powered panelists, both national, state, and local. We're going to be delving into some serious business. Some of the topics, our keynote speaker for this event is Dr. Brian Kladusby. He is the president of National Congress of American Indians, and he will be addressing our summit. We have 10 different topics, as I stated. We have strengthening communities. Moderator is Al Nygaard, and he is the CEO of the MHA, the Mandan Hidatsa Arikara tribe. We have tribal governance. Our moderator is our Indian Commissioner, Scott Davis. A culture in the 21st century. We have one of our Standing Rock councilmen, Frank Whitebull, is moderating. Economic development and commerce. We have our chairperson of the Turtle Mountain Chippewa Indians, and he's also the chair of our United Tribes Technical College. He's the chair of the board of directors. He will be moderating the economic development and commerce. We have legal impact for tribal nations. Our moderator is Heather Dawn Thompson. She's a lawyer, a very, very effective speaker, and just a all-around very intelligent lady. We have our natural resources panel. Our moderator is Mr. Mark Fox. He is the chairperson of the Arikara, Mandan, and Hidatsa Nation. We have our housing panel. Our moderator is Jim Baker. He is the longest reigning councilman in North Dakota tribal history, and he is presently the councilman for the Turtle Mountain Chippewa tribe. Our Health and Human Services panel, our moderator is Chairman Bruce Renville. Bruce is the chairman of the Sistan Wapton Oyate. He has been in IHS, in the Indian Health Service, for 36 years. So very appropriate that we have him on the Health and Human Service panel. We have the secondary education panel with Nancy Green. Nancy Green Robertson is the secretary treasurer and a councilwoman for the Spirit Lake Nation. And then we have our post-secondary. Our post-secondary is Dave Archambault. Dave Archambault, of course, I think many of you know him. He is the chair of the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe. And then, of course, we have our youth summit. The youth summit will be held on Thursday, and Dr. Myra Pearson. Myra Pearson is will be moderating that particular panel, and she is the chairperson of the Spirit Lake Nation. Now, with the Youth Summit, it's a little different than a panel. What we're going to have is throughout the day on Thursday, Wes Longfeather has organized this event, and what they are going to do, from what we understand, is that he would like to have some of those students that were in the youth panel come in to our regular session summit and give a 2-hour position paper, so to speak. Let us know what they have gained and learned from their experience. Their presenter for the Youth Summit is James Anderson. You might know him as famous Dave's son. He is a presenter and author. He's a presenter and a great speaker. And he is also going to be our luncheon guest speaker. We have Hyde Erdrich, who is going to, now James Anderson will be the luncheon speaker for Wednesday. And Thursday we will have Hyde Erdrich. Hyde Erdrich is an author, and she's a speaker. She's very much into Indigenous, and her sister is Louise Erdrich, a famous Native author. So we have some serious things coming up. Great presenters and panelists. It's amazing the people that we were able to get. In housing, we have Sammy Jo DeFontorum. Sammy Jo is the new chairwoman for the Native American Housing Council, Indian Housing Council, and the National Native American Indian Housing Council. So she's really quite a force to contend with, and great lady. Dr. Charles Monty Russell is the head of BIE. It's just a host of fantastic people that we are going to have. Carrie Billy, the head of the American Indian Higher President and CEO of the American Indian Higher Education Consortium.
Well, and Julie, another part that you have going on will be the trade show.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
Talk a little bit about the trade show, and if there's anybody interested that might, I don't know if you still have openings, or are you past the
We
the
do
time
have,
for booths for
we have some
businesses?
openings because we're going to have 80, we want to have 80 booths.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone, the community, this is where you can get involved. Put a booth up. We have so many tribal leaders and our tribal leadership that are coming. Put a booth up and let people see what you are offering. We have a lot of wonderful things happening. The trade show, our social hours are going to be right in the trade show area. We're going to have trade show drawings. But those two socials that are sponsored by Missouri River Resources and Aviant Food Service are going to be held right in the trade show area. Just a host of wonderful, we're going to have entertainment. Mercedes Gorno. If you've met Bill Gorno, Dr. Gorno was in here earlier. His daughter Mercedes, she has just signed did
her own CD.
Her own CD down in
recording.
Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
She's a recording artist and beautiful voice. She's going to be doing the entertainment. She's also going to do the national anthem. So we have just all kinds of things planned. Come out with strengthening communities means our beautiful Bismarck area and surrounding areas. We're going to be at that gorgeous civic event center. And remember, this is United Tribes Event Week.
Yes.
Powwow and the summit are two things that go under that umbrella.
And during that week, if you want to get involved with the summit, and if you're looking at wanting to get a booth and how to do that, you can go right to the website, which is the uttc.edu, and it'll click you right to the...
Right. We have our own website. If you go into www.summit.edu, you will also get us. But it's and we have a beautiful website. I would like to take 1 second to thank my committee. That has been the Summit Committee, and I shouldn't say mine because we are all we are all related and we're community. But it's a lot of hard work, and they have stepped up to the plate. Dr. McDonald, Cherise Fondrick, a whole list of Carla Garrett's, Joey.
I want to say thank you, Julie.
Okay, it looks
I know
like
there's
I'm
a lot
out
of
of
people. We want to
time.
say thank you for listening.
Thank you.